This is an original surrealistic painting by the Italian artist Bercovici. Its price, $25. This is an original semi-abstract portrait by the Spanish artist Durandal. Its price, $20. This is an original expressionistic interpretation of a cave drawing by the French artist Laussens. Its price, $15. The person responsible for making available original art like this at bargain prices is one of these three men. What is your name, please?
My name is Frederick Haddad.
My name is Frederick Haddad.
My name is Frederick Haddad.
Only one of these gentlemen is the real Frederick Haddad. The other two are imposters, and we'll try to fool this panel. Tom Poston, Peggy Cass, Orson Bean, and Kitty Carlisle on To Tell the Truth. To Tell the Truth is brought to you this evening by Dristan Decongestant Tablets for relief of cold's misery, sinus congestion. And here, sitting in for vacationing Bud Collier, is our host, Robert Q. Lewis.
Thank you very much. Boy, it's good to be sitting in for Bud once again. I hope he's enjoying his vacation. Hello there, panel.
Hello.
And today, before we go any further, Orson, good luck tomorrow night.
Ah, bless you.
Orson opens with Phyllis Newman at Mineola in Tell the Name.
The Owl and the Pussycat.
Yes, sir, and good
Sweet
luck.
Phyllis Newman and I.
Now, tell me something, panel. What do you think about our art exhibit?
Well, it's
Very interesting, isn't it? Well, now, look.
Close to $100 worth of stuff up there.
Would you open your envelopes, please, and follow along as I read? I, Frederick Haddad, am an art dealer. I buy and sell only original paintings. I travel throughout these United States and Europe in search of talented but unknown young artists. I buy their works and sell them at prices from $5 to $75. In just 5 years, I've sold over 150,000 of them. By operating this Paintings for the People program, I not only help the struggling artist, but also give the American public the satisfaction of owning original paintings of merit, rather than bad copies of masterpieces. I sell the paintings in 3 permanent galleries, as well as in 6 traveling art shows that tour the country. The paintings are in almost every conceivable style: classic, impressionist, antique, cubist, traditional, op, pop, and abstract. Every one of my customers can point to the canvas hanging on the wall of his home and announce with pride, it's an original. Signed, Frederick Haddad. Ladies and gentlemen, to my left, 3 distinguished patrons of the arts. Let's start this round with a lady who knows her art, Kitty Carlisle.
Thank you, Robert. Number one, where were the earliest cave paintings found?
In Altamira, Spain.
Thank you. Number two, what is trompe-l'oeil?
Fake the eye.
And what does it look like?
Well, it's more than realistic in the painting so that you feel you can touch it.
Thank you. Number three, behind you, there's a sort of a comic strip picture. What kind of art is that called?
Well, that's pop art.
Pop art, thank you. Number two, there was a recent sort of imbroglio involving a Modigliani that was sold by Noodlers. Do you know what the painting was?
No, not the specific painting. I remember reading about it in the newspaper, though.
Number one, what would a Modigliani sell for today?
It would depend on the painting. I don't really know. It was several $1,000s.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kitty. Tom.
I think if you had an imbroglio, it would be over a Modigliani. But however, number one, who's Bill Haddad? You have an unusual name. Maybe you know, are you related to Bill?
Yes, I'm his younger brother.
Are you really? Well, he's a good man. Number two, do you know who Paul Freeman is?
No, I don't.
These are artists that I know. Do you know number three who Jackie Battle is?
No, I don't.
Young artist. Do you know number one who Tom Allen is? I'm about out of my artists.
I believe Tom Allen is a contemporary American painter.
Thank you. Number two, what is the name of that Wyeth painting of the little girl on the side of a hill in a pink dress? Do you remember?
I don't know the name of it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Peggy.
Thank you. Number 2, in that rhubarb they had at Nerdler's, who was proven right by the court?
The art dealer.
That's right. I just wanted to straighten it out for Nerdler's sake.
Thank you.
Number 3, what school was Morris Prendergast?
Oh, I don't remember offhand.
Thank you. Number 2, that you've stolen my heart, and I'm going to skip town with it, that painting up there. It's painted a bit like another pop artist. Could you tell me the name of the pop artist that's something like? You've stolen the key to my heart, and now you're going to skip town with it?
No, I don't know.
Oh, okay. Number 1, what school of art would you say Sam Francis belongs to?
Sam Francis is an abstract expressionist.
Thank you. And number 2...
Thank you, Peggy. Orson.
Thank you. Number 3, do you know if Mr. Huntington Hartford has in his museum a Sam Francis? Number 3.
I don't recall, actually.
All right.
No.
Number 2, I have an original imbroglio at home. Do you know where the Washington Square Art Show is held?
The Washington Square Art Show?
Yeah.
I thought it was called the Greenwich Village Art Show.
Oh, is it? All right. You had to show me up, number 2, right? All right. Number 1, who paints flags?
A lot of people. Jasper Johns is probably the best known.
All right. Number 2, who cuts out pictures from the Daily News?
We'll never know. There you go. The time has come to vote, panel, and without consultation, without changing, please mark your ballot, selecting, if you will, gentleman number 1, number 2, or number 3. And may I congratulate the panel on a very good set of questions there, and the gentlemen with their answers. Team of challengers, of course, gets $250 for each incorrect vote. Are we all set?
Yes, yes.
All right, Tomas, for whom did you vote?
Well, number 1 was right. Tom Allen is a very good contemporary American artist. But number 2 looked like he knew the field. And it wouldn't surprise me a bit that Bill Haddad's brother was involved in some worthwhile thing like this.
All right, Peggy.
Well, you see, number 2 looks like Bill Haddad. But he didn't know as much about art as number 1, so I voted for number 1.
All right, Orson.
Well, number 1 said that Sam Francis is an abstractionist, and number 3...
Abstract expressionist.
What do I know?
He is.
All right, I believe it. That's 2 of you that said it already. Number 3 didn't know that Huntington Hartford would not have an abstract expressionist in his museum. He would rather sell all the Bocar coffee and all the orange juice. I voted for number 1 on the grounds that...
Oh, that's a beautiful work of art, Orson.
Let's see.
There's
$15.
There's an original bean. Kitty?
I voted for number 2 because I think he looks like his charming and distinguished brother. And number 1 said a Modigliani would sell for several $1,000s, and I think it would sell for a whole lot more than several thousand. So I voted for number 2.
Well, there you are. It's kind of mixed up between 1 and 2. There are the votes. Now, let's find out which of these 3 gentlemen is really Frederick Haddad. Will the real Frederick Haddad please stand up? Anybody who will do something to help the young artists of this country deserves a great deal of commendation, Mr. Haddad.
Thank you,
I
Tom.
think you do. Now then, number 1, you got yourself 2 votes. Let's find out who you really are.
My name is Jim Broadhead, and I'm with Time, the weekly news magazine.
And number 3, tell us about you, sir.
My name is David Zerlin. I'm manager of the Carnegie Hall Cinema here in New York.
Now, gentlemen, as you can easily see, there have been 2 incorrect votes, which means you share $500. Congratulations. Thank you so much for being with us, and good night. And now let's meet our next team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Ivan Tors.
My name is Ivan Tors.
My name is Ivan Tors.
All right, will you listen as I read, please, panel? I, Ivan Tors, am a motion picture and television producer. A great deal of my work has been with animals. I own the world's largest private zoo and supply over 90% of all the wild beasts used in films, television, and commercials. I firmly believe that any wild animal can be trained, provided training is started young enough. At my zoo, Africa, USA, with some 60 different animal species, we use a system which we call affection training, and it leads to some strange friendships. A horse and a 15-foot python, a baby lion and a tiger cub, and a man and an unmuzzled black bear. I've produced over 15 feature films, including Underwater Warrior, Rhino, and Clarence, the cross-eyed lion. There he is. Clarence is also the four-legged star of my latest television series on the CBS network. It is called Daktari, which in the African Swahili language simply means doctor. Signed, Ivan Torres. Ladies and gentlemen, to my left, three gentlemen. They all claim to be a man I'm sure of whom you've heard, Ivan Torres. Let's start this with Tom Poston.
Well, I'm very interested in one aspect of your work. I'm ashamed that I don't know this man because he's so famous, but number three, have you found that there are animals which are simply not compatible?
Yes, sir.
What would you say are examples of that kind of...
Our simple house cat
is not compatible with?
is not to train at all.
Well, I wasn't thinking of that. I mean, now, for instance, number two, you had the lion and the tiger cub together, and which might seem to be okay. Have you found animals that simply won't get along together?
No, we haven't found any.
Gee, that's marvelous. Number one, the wild cat and that breed of smaller cats is terrifically responsive to certain gestures on the part of humans. Do you know what that is?
No.
Thank you, Tom. Peggy.
Number two, I understand that cats, if you left them alone, I mean, that animals really could get along together, any old animals, like an elephant. Heavens.
Oh, yes.
Gee. Number one, don't you have something to do with the dolphin?
Yes, I do.
What's the dolphin's name?
Flipper.
Yeah. Number three, who played the leads in Clarence, the cross-eyed lion outside of Clarence?
Oh, of course, Marshall Thompson and Charlie Miller.
Thank you. And number two, where are you originally from?
Originally from Budapest.
Thank you. And number one, who played the leads in Rhino? I loved Rhino.
Helga Dino, Robert Culp, and Shirley Eaton.
Thank you.
Thank you, Peggy. Orson?
Robert Culp never had his name pronounced better, number one. Number one, could that most hated of all beasts, the gaboon viper, become friends with a chicken? I mean, you have to draw the line somewhere, right?
Not while he's hungry.
Ah, all right. Number three, I don't remember if it was you that, yes, you did say that the common house cat cannot be trained, but I remember an old vaudeville act called the Boxing Cats. Couldn't these cats used to put on boxing gloves and go at each other?
Oh, I wouldn't say so. The cat itself is too independent.
Yeah.
She wouldn't take any demands or any commands, let's say, to be trained. She would do what she pleases.
Yes. A noble beast, number
Not
three.
at
Who
all.
can deny?
Noble questions, Orson. Kitty.
Number two, your training, it says here, is based on affection. What do you do to train the animals to lose their baser instincts?
Well, you actually try to represent their mother and caress them from when they're very small.
And feed them?
Yes.
Number three, bears are considered very dangerous in the national parks, and you're warned against them. How is it you've trained your bears to be gentle?
Through our affectionate training we have. Training program which gives a bear the opportunity to be under the care of a human being trained like her mother or his mother would do to him.
Thank you. Number one, what is the most
Sorry,
intelligent
Kitty.
animal?
That's it. I wish I could answer that question by saying the human was the most intelligent animal, but sometimes I wonder. It's time to vote without consultation. Please mark your ballots and select, if you will, either number one, number two, or number three. Wish the real Mr. Torres could get humans to live together compatibly, huh? Are we all set? All right, Tom, for whom did you vote?
If you would treat us all like our mommy, we would live together happily. I voted for number two. I thought they were all marvelous, but he seemed to have a wealth of compassion and understanding and be the kind of man who would enjoy having a zoo like this.
Okay, Peggy?
Well, I voted for number one because he rattled off the leads in that movie Rhino.
Oh,
that was
boy.
quite a long time ago.
Orson?
Three looks like Ivan Torres.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had a kid named Ivan Torres, I would cast number three to play his life story. But I voted for number one. because, strangely enough, he looks like Ivan Tors, too, now that I look at him. And he knows his vipers and chickens and all like that.
Kitty?
I voted for number 3 because I think they all look compassionate and they all seem to know how to make all these dear animals live together in harmony. But I think it's number 3.
Again, kind of varied voting. There they are. Let's find out now which of these gentlemen is Ivan Tors. Will the real Ivan Tors please stand up? I think I can say we've all enjoyed your work for many, many years, and we're delighted to know what you look like now, Mr. Torrey. Thank you so much. All right, number 2, you got a vote, sir. Would you tell us who you really are?
My name is Axel Dessau. I'm the director of the Danish National Travel Office in New York.
Number 3, you got yourself a vote, too. Who are you, sir?
My name is Kurt Ullman. I'm captain of waiters at the Café Ambassador at the Sheraton East.
Well, gentlemen, there have been 2 incorrect votes, and that means that you have yourselves $500 to share. It's been a most fascinating spot. Thank you so much for being with us, and goodbye. Now let's meet our 3rd team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Den Davidson.
My name is Dan Davidson.
My name is Den Davidson.
All right, panel, would you please follow along as I read? I, Den Davidson, am an avalanche control engineer. I patrol snow-covered mountain slopes to determine where and when the next avalanche might occur. The ice, snow, and rubble of an avalanche can travel down a mountainside at a speed of 200 miles an hour, destroying or burying everything in its path. My job is to start the slide prematurely before the snow mass builds to truly destructive proportions. I do this by setting off a dynamite charge, shooting an explosive rocket deep into the snow, or by picking my way along the fracture line and kicking at the snow with my skis. This last method can be quite hazardous. Over the years, more than 40 avalanches have caught me and carried me head over heels down the mountain. I am the only full-time avalanche buster in the United States. Signed, Den Davidson. 3 stalwart-looking gentlemen. They all claim to be Den Davidson. Let's start this with a gal who does ski, Peggy Cass.
Thank you. Number 1, can a sharp noise start an avalanche?
Well, it's possible, but not probable.
Thank you. Number 3, there was a big avalanche in South America last summer. Would you tell me where that was?
In Peru?
Thank you. Number 2, what color are the flags that are put up for avalanche warnings?
Generally orange.
Thank you. Number 1, if you're caught in an avalanche, I mean, is there something you can do to kind of ride out the avalanche?
Yes, you
What?
can swim out of it, literally.
Thank you. And number 3, people are killed by avalanches, and they're not buried by snow. There's another way that you can get killed if you're around an avalanche. What's that?
Some debris can hit you.
The what? Oh,
Debris.
Yeah. But number 2, can't you smother on ice particles breathing?
Thank you, Peggy. Sorry, time's up. Orson.
What a wonderful job. I mean, well, what a great job to be able to kick stuff down and bang, boom. And you did it. Oh, what a job. I'd give anything to be that. Number 1, isn't it fun?
Oh, yeah, I enjoy
I know
it
it's
a lot.
hard work, too, but isn't it fun?
Oh, yeah.
Number 2, what's the most fun? What's the biggest mess you ever made, number 2?
About 30 feet deep on the road.
Oh, isn't it great, number 2?
Wonderful.
I mean, that's better than a fireman who comes in and wrecks up your joint, isn't it? Number 3, who pays you to go around looking to start trouble before it gets bad?
I work for the American Metals Climax Corporation.
And what's in it for them? Why do they do that?
It's a mining concern.
Oh, I see. So you just do it in what they own.
Right.
If avalanches happen in somebody else's land, you just say good luck and that's it, right?
Thank you, Orson. Kitty.
Number 2, I'd like to finish Peggy's question. Can you smother from ice particles in an avalanche?
This is possible, yes.
Number 3, how do you swim out of an avalanche in case you're caught in one?
Well, you try to run and try to keep your feet or your hands or something going so that you get over to one side as quickly as you can.
Number 1, how do you find the fracture that you start kicking?
The fracture where
Yeah.
you start kicking?
It says in the affidavit that you start kicking your skis along the snow fracture.
Oh, that's the point at which the avalanche will start.
Well, how do you find it?
Well, where you see the most snow and you just a matter of judgment.
Thank you.
that's
Number
all.
3, is it not true that you can start an avalanche by clapping your hands?
Well, I've tried and never been successful.
You couldn't make it.
Thank you, Kitty. Tom?
That's funny. Number 2, where do you do your work?
In Colorado,
Only?
yes.
See, what I would like to know, number 2 again, is who looks for these avalanches when you don't?
I have a full-time assistant at one of the mines.
I see. Number 1, you're all in these mines. You're in these mines, too. You work for
Yes.
this mining company?
Yes.
Well, don't they have anybody doing a job that you do at resorts and places like that where there be a lot of people also?
No.
Number 3, it says you're the only full-time avalanche buster in the United States. What does a part-time avalanche buster do?
Perhaps a member of the ski patrol or the Forest Service.
They might do it then, too. Number 2, do you ever do any rescue work?
Yes, at times.
What occasion do you have when you're up there looking at those faults?
That's it. The time has come to vote, if you will, panel. And this may be a tough one. I don't know. Mark your ballots, if you will,
It
please.
sure is.
I know they're all tough. Avalanche Buster number 1, number 2, or number 3. And I think you've got a couple of good imposters up there,
I'll say.
incidentally. Are we all set? Everybody marked? All right, Tom, how did you vote?
Well, I voted for number 2. Yeah, you had to take a choice on this one because they knew more than we did, and so I chose number 2.
All right, Peggy.
Well, you know, it's true that you can try to swim out of an avalanche, but I voted for 2 because, you know, in the snow you get a terrific tan and windburn, and he's got one.
All right, Orson.
1 and 2 look like 3 if they were playing them in the movies, but 3 looks like 3 if it's really him, so I voted for 3.
That is a 3?
That's a 3. I got buried.
Okay.
What do you want?
Kitty?
I voted for number 2 because he looks like a man who takes his work very seriously. And I think he cares deeply about saving people from avalanches. And I voted for number 2.
He's probably a waiter. What are you talking about?
There are the votes. Let's see. Well, 3 of you believe it's number 2, 1 number 3. Okay. Den Davidson is the name. He's an avalanche buster. And now, will the real Den Davidson please stand up? I'm sure there are many questions you would like to ask Den. The thing that occurs to me is, why are these services used in resort areas, Mr. Davidson, this type of work?
Well, the Forest Service does some of this type of work in ski resort areas, but this is part-time.
I see. And are you training any young people, any younger people to carry on this kind of thing?
Well, sometimes I help teach the National Ski Patrol schools.
Good for you. Good for you. Thank you. Well, let's see. Number 1, let's find out who you really are, sir.
My name is Stan Erickson, and I'm with the Nitrolite Division of the Lone Star Cement Company.
So you're not a cement, huh? Number 3, you got a vote. Let's find out who you really are.
My name is Charlie Johnson. I'm the quarterback of the St. Louis Cardinals football team.
Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. Well, gentlemen, as you see, just 1 incorrect vote, but boy, it's been a great spot. Thank you so much. You have $250 to share. Thank you for being with us, and good night. Well, that just about does it for tonight. I hope you join me in hoping that Bud's enjoying his vacation. Panel, it's delightful to be with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We hope you'll join us, all of you, tomorrow afternoon and next week at this very same time. I'll see you then. And now this is Robert Q. for Bud, reminding you, as he always does, to tell the truth.
To Tell the Truth is a Mark Woodson, Bill Codman production.
Enjoy a bright new look at the city dreams are made of with Gene Kelly in New York, New York. A music and dance special in color tonight at 10, 9 Central Time. Right now, stay tuned as Arthur Godfrey sits in for vacationing Bill Cullen on I've Got a Secret.
To Tell the Truth has been brought to you by new Aerowax with jet-age plastic with a tough, long-lasting shine that never yellows. This is Johnny Olson speaking. Tonight's program was pre-recorded.